There is a moment each night when the world around us settles into quiet, when the hum of daily life grows still, and when our bodies naturally long for rest. In these precious moments before sleep claims our consciousness, something profound can take place if we allow ourselves a gentle pause. We close our eyes and open our hearts, inviting an intimate time of prayer and reflection. This can be the most meaningful moment of our day, for in that sacred stillness, we give ourselves the gift of spiritual replenishment. We let go of burdens we have carried through hours of work, worry, or busyness, and we hand over our fears and uncertainties to a presence that is both compassionate and boundless in its grace. In this space, we find more than mere slumber. We find hope. We find comfort. We find an assurance that while we rest, all that concerns us is held in loving hands. This quiet, simple act each night might seem small, but within it lies the power to transform our hearts and minds. Tonight, as you settle in and prepare to say this prayer, allow it to be your refuge, your comfort, and your reminder that you are never alone. Nighttime has a particular way of bringing our deepest feelings to the surface. When we lie in the dark, with our eyes closed and the room quiet, we are finally still enough to hear the thoughts that are often drowned out by the day's noise. Sometimes these thoughts fill us with a sense of peace as we recall happy memories or moments of gratitude. At other times, the silence can highlight our worries, anxieties, or regrets. Prayer becomes the bridge between our waking selves and our innermost spiritual longings. It becomes the vessel that carries the weight of those silent burdens into a place of love, release, and understanding. Prayer does not necessarily remove every problem, but it gives us a sanctuary in which our hearts can rest, and a lens through which we can view our challenges with renewed courage. As we speak words of faith, we invite a greater presence into the very center of our being, giving permission for grace to work within us while we sleep. There is a beautiful humility that arises when we acknowledge the limitations of our own power. Despite our best efforts, there will always be moments in life we cannot control. Instead of wrestling with the unknown, we can use prayer to humbly surrender our attempts to manage every detail of our world. This act of surrender is not about giving up. It is about opening up. It is about recognizing that there is a wisdom beyond our own, and that in letting go of our relentless grip on circumstances, we allow something benevolent to intervene. In these quiet moments before sleep, we turn over the knots of the day, trusting they will be gently unraveled. Our hearts become free from the anxieties that come from trying to do it all ourselves. In that freedom, we discover that it is safe to believe in goodness, and that rest does not have to be overshadowed by doubts about tomorrow. Nightly prayer also becomes a time to reflect on the day behind us and find perspective in the presence of the divine. Sometimes we carry regret over words we spoke or actions we took. We might carry guilt over what we left undone, or frustration over what did not go as planned. Prayer is the perfect occasion to voice these regrets, to seek forgiveness, and to rest assured that mercy meets us exactly where we are. When we end our day by releasing all that was imperfect, we create room for healing and transformation. Bit by bit, with each evening prayer, we allow grace to do its gentle, refining work in our souls. Even though we may not wake up the next morning entirely changed, we can gradually sense the shift toward becoming more patient, more compassionate, and more aware of how our words and actions impact both ourselves and those around us. In the stillness of night, gratitude also takes on a special significance. It can be easy to overlook the day's gifts when we are caught up in its stressors. Yet prayer encourages us to notice the kindness, beauty, and blessings that have accompanied us through the day. It reminds us that even amidst challenges, we have been sustained. Gratitude aligns our hearts with positivity. It does not ignore the problems we face, but it widens our perspective to include moments of grace we might have otherwise missed. This practice of cultivating gratitude before drifting off to sleep can be profoundly healing. It settles our minds, reminding us that there is always a reason to hope, even if it is simply the realization that we have made it through one more day. We rest more peacefully when our hearts are tuned to thankfulness. And in that peaceful rest, our bodies and spirits can be rejuvenated. Prayer before sleep also offers a unique invitation to fortify our trust. Many people find it difficult to let go at night, worried about what might happen tomorrow or dwelling on events that are now unchangeable. Saying a prayer in those moments becomes an act of faith. We speak words that affirm our trust in love's safeguarding power. We remind ourselves that as we sleep, we are not abandoned. There's no corner of our room untouched by the presence of the divine if our hearts remain open. Indeed, this trust can extend beyond our personal concerns to encompass family, friends, and even the larger world that feels so chaotic at times. We can rest in the knowledge that we are continuously held in a love that does not fail. When we open our eyes the next morning, we often do so with renewed energy and perspective, ready to face the day with a greater sense of calm. As you come to this prayer, allow yourself to first settle into a posture of openness. You might lie down already, feeling the weight of the day on your shoulders and longing for the relief that only sleep can bring. Let your breath become steady. Notice the simple gift of each inhale and exhale. Recognize how your body feels supported, whether by a bed or some other place of rest. In that awareness, gently allow your tense muscles to relax. If you find your thoughts racing, try to imagine them as leaves floating on a stream. They appear, and then they drift away. There's no need to chase them. There's no need to control them. Simply welcome the stillness that comes from the understanding that this is your time to connect with the sacred. When you begin to pray, remember that your words need not be perfect or polished. The divine meets you as you are, with all your quirks, flaws, hopes, and dreams. Prayer is about sincerity, not eloquence. The quiet plea of a worried heart can be just as powerful as any grand expression of faith. In truth, your willingness to seek comfort, protection, and communion is what truly matters. As you speak, let the words flow naturally, whether they form in your mind or on your lips. Maybe you whisper them softly into the dimly lit room, or maybe you only articulate them within your heart. The important thing is that you do so with genuine intent. This prayer is a conversation, one in which both speaking and listening matter. You share your heart, and then you allow yourself to feel the reverberation of peace. Let this prayer encompass the day behind you. Bring to mind the people who shared your hours, the tasks you completed, the small triumphs, and even the difficulties. Offer them all up as if placing them in gentle hands. By doing so, you acknowledge that your day's efforts were valuable, whether they turned out as you hoped or not. You surrender to a love that understands you better than you understand yourself. You trust that nothing you faced or accomplished was wasted. Each moment contained lessons, blessings, or opportunities for growth. Even moments that seemed fruitless or painful can be used for your betterment when placed in the hands of grace. Speaking this trust out loud or in your heart can itself be a release, a letting go of self-imposed pressure that insists you must handle everything alone. Instead, you welcome help from a source that is eternal and unwavering. This prayer, however, is not limited to reflection on what has passed. It is also an act of hopeful anticipation for the day ahead. Though it may not yet be visible, though it may lie hidden in the darkness of midnight, tomorrow holds its own promise. By praying now, you plant a seed in your soul, one that can bloom in the morning light. You ask that your steps be guided, that your mind remain clear, that your heart stay open, and that you be given the wisdom needed to face whatever comes. You do not need to fear the uncertainty of tomorrow if you know you do not walk into it alone. This prayer prepares your spirit to embrace the future, come what may, with courage, humility, and confidence in goodness. While you pray, consider the relationships in your life. Often we go to sleep carrying anger or bitterness if we have been hurt by someone's words or actions. Sometimes we harbor guilt if we have hurt someone else. These unspoken tensions can rob us of the peace we need. Nightly prayer can be the time to bring those relationships into the light. You might ask for guidance in resolving conflicts, for healing in strained bonds, or for strength to forgive, or to ask for forgiveness. Compassion flows more readily when we remember that we are all on a journey, each struggling with our own frailties. Offering that recognition in prayer can soften your heart and clear space for reconciliation. Even if not every relationship is immediately restored, your willingness to place it under the umbrella of prayer can begin the process of turning bitterness into understanding and anger into compassion. There's also something deeply comforting about consciously inviting protection over yourself and those you love. Throughout human history, people have sought a sense of protection at night, often lighting lamps or placing symbols of faith near their beds. While we may no longer rely on a simple flame to ward off danger, the sentiment remains. We want to feel safe. We want our loved ones to be secure. When you say this prayer, ask for that covering of safety, trusting that those who dwell in love dwell in a place of ultimate security. This is not about denying that hardships exist, but about trusting that a benevolent force watches over us. Fear can be powerful, especially in the dark, yet prayer, grounded in love and faith, is more potent still. Allow that assurance to settle within you, calming the mind and settling the heart, so that you can drift off peacefully. There's a sacredness in acknowledging that our spirits are eternal, even though our bodies need rest. When you pray before sleep, you are declaring that sleep is not merely a physical necessity, but also a spiritual invitation. It is a time when we quiet the clamor of daily life, open a channel for deeper communion, and let the restorative process of sleep touch us on every level. Prayer can guide us toward dreams that heal, dreams that inspire, or dreams that bring clarity. By approaching sleep in this mindful, prayerful way, we give ourselves permission to let go of control. It is an act of faith, trusting that we will awaken to a new dawn. But if our eyes do not open, our soul remains safely in the embrace of the divine. This awareness shifts our perspective on sleep from something mundane and automatic to something reverent and spiritually rich. If, in the stillness of your prayer, tears come, let them flow without shame. Tears at night have a way of washing the soul, especially when accompanied by the knowledge that a loving presence sees them. These tears might be tears of relief, grief, repentance, or gratitude. Whatever their reason, prayer provides a protected space for your emotions to be expressed honestly. There's a release in that vulnerability, a gentle unraveling of knots that may have tightened within you over the day. As the tears subside, there's often a sense of calm that follows, a reminder that you are heard and known, that you are understood on a level deeper than you can even articulate. This knowing can be a powerful comfort as you drift into the mystery of sleep. As you continue praying nightly, you may notice subtle changes in how you perceive the world around you. The practice of pausing in the evening to speak your hopes, fears, and gratitude shapes your inner life. Maybe you find yourself more patient with others because you have begun to lay down your irritations in prayer. Maybe you discover that your anxiety lessens because you have grown accustomed to releasing concerns before closing your eyes. Over time, these changes can become significant. Prayer becomes not just a momentary comfort, but a force that molds your outlook and steers your decisions. Your nights become times of meaningful communion, and your days become reflections of that communion, characterized by a deeper sense of peace and purpose. In this way, a short prayer said before sleep can ripple through every aspect of your life. It can inspire you to be more compassionate, more open to forgiveness, more hopeful. This is because prayer, even though intimate and deeply personal, connects us to a source that goes beyond ourselves, one that is immeasurable in power, wisdom, and love. A prayer can soften hearts. It can mend relationships. It can spark creative solutions to problems. It can lift despair when it seems impossible to carry on. At night, when the world is silent, the power of prayer feels especially tangible. It is like a warm, gentle light in the darkness, a flicker of hope that assures us the shadows of fear or sorrow do not have the final word. If you find it difficult to concentrate, consider focusing your mind on a single image or word that captures your idea of comfort and divine presence. It could be a vision of a serene garden, a peaceful shore, or a gentle light. Let this image fill your mind and guide your heart toward a prayerful openness. Sometimes, having this point of focus can prevent the wandering thoughts that often keep us tossing and turning. Alternatively, you can repeat a short phrase, something that resonates with your soul, reminding you of the essence of the divine. As the minutes pass, you might find that your tension softens, allowing you to more freely converse with the presence that holds you. Remember that even if you drift off mid-prayer, your spirit remains in that gentle place of communion. There is no shame in falling asleep while speaking these words, as it can indicate a sweet release of the day's tensions. In the realm of spirit, your intention matters far more than the completeness of your sentences. Let yourself be cradled by the knowledge that there is no barrier separating you from boundless love, even in the soft realm of dreams. When you wake, you may not recall each sentence you prayed, but the peace instilled by this nightly ritual can linger in your subconscious, shaping how you greet the morning. It is also natural to have doubts about whether prayer works or is heard. If your mind questions the very act of praying, Acknowledge those doubts. Faith does not require us to silence every uncertainty, but to bring them along, trusting that genuine love and understanding have the capacity to hold even our skepticism. When you choose to pray, you step beyond the bounds of what can be measured or proven by logic alone. You enter a space where heart, spirit, and hope converge. In that space, the infinite meets our finite concerns, and amazing transformations can happen. Doubt does not invalidate your prayer. It can be part of the authentic conversation between you and the divine. Over time, through continual practice, you may see small but significant confirmations that encourage you, gentle reminders that you are indeed cherished and guided. If at times you struggle with finding the right words, remember that silence can be a powerful form of prayer too. The divine knows what is etched into your heart before you can fully articulate it. Sitting quietly, breathing slowly, and simply presenting your heart's condition is sometimes all that is needed. Whether your heart is heavy or light, contrite or joyful, uncertain or resolute, be assured that it is held in gentle regard. In that silent prayer, a profound conversation can take place, one that transcends the limitations of language. If words come later, let them flow. If they do not, remain in that quiet communion as long as feels natural, and trust that it is enough. Over time, you may wish to expand this practice, perhaps by adding moments of reflection or reading passages that uplift your spirit. For now, as you focus on saying this prayer before you sleep, cherish the simplicity of offering your day, your emotions, your goals, and your uncertainties to a loving source. There's no need to rush or force an experience. Allow the nightly ritual to be what it is, a sacred conversation, an intimate whisper, and a time of release and renewal. This unhurried approach ensures that prayer remains an invitation rather than a chore, a relationship rather than an obligation. As the days turn into weeks and the weeks into months, continue to observe how this nightly prayer influences the subtle layers of your life. Maybe you notice that you awaken with fewer worries, or that you carry a kinder perspective into your daily encounters. Maybe you discover that your dreams grow more vivid or more comforting, or that you feel more aware of blessings that once seemed insignificant. Let these observations encourage you. Share them if you like, for our personal experiences of nightly prayer can inspire others to reach out to the divine in their own way. Wherever you find yourself in life, whatever burdens you carry or joys you celebrate, know that these nighttime moments of prayer are an offering you make, a gesture of trust and surrender. You do not have to be anyone other than who you are in this moment. It is enough to open your heart and speak. You are seen, heard, loved, and gently guided, even if you do not always sense it as you might wish. Rest in that truth. Let it cradle you as you drift off to sleep. Let it follow you into your dreams, and let it light your way when morning comes. Embrace the quiet miracle of prayer, a living testimony that in the hush of night, we are never truly alone. Each night offers an opportunity to step away from the anxieties and stresses of our day. Before slipping into the realm of dreams, we have a sacred window of time where we can commune with the divine. This prayer before sleep serves as your heartfelt expression of hope, trust, and gratitude. It is a brief but powerful gesture that invites protection, peace, and guidance into the deepest parts of your being. It gently reshapes how you see your burdens, reminding you that you do not carry them in isolation. It reframes your regrets, your doubts, and your longings, setting them into a context of unconditional love and forgiveness. It prepares you to face a new dawn with fresh courage and a spirit renewed by rest. Even if words fail or doubts arise, the sincerity of your longing is enough to bridge the gap. Tonight, as you close your eyes in prayer, trust that your voice is heard, that your heart is embraced, and that every breath you take is precious in the sight of the divine. May you lie down in peace, and may you wake up with a soul that has found new strength, new hope, and the comforting assurance that love is with you through every shadow and every sunrise.